This is KL, home to us Malaysians and many other nationalities. A bustling city of transportation and entertainment. Tourists around the world flock here to experience a unique culture different from theirs. Capitalism is at its highest where people have the means to spend. Exquisite malls which is home to many luxurious brands where not many of us can afford. The gap between the rich and poor is getting bigger ever since. It might not look obvious to us, as the view has been blocked out by a wall. By the wall, we define it as the gap. A gap between the rich and poor, which in reality, the word gap can simply be a wall between a Ganja shopping mall that is filled with luxury and a slum that is decimated by the unbearable stench.
要问你们，就是你们今天花了多少钱在这边？
在这里啊，我们今天才来耶，
才刚刚来啊，
才刚刚来而已。
这样你们这一身大概多少钱？
大概啊，因为 Uniqlo 的衣服跟也是 Benz Outlet 的裤而已。
哦，就是差不多，
没有超过100，
正常价
没有超过100块。
哦，这样你们是很常来这里还是？
没有常来的，只是为了看电影。
哦，看电影。
毕竟这里消费高嘛，这里。
哦，也对。
对，消费高。
这样你们其实知道 Pavilion 的后面这里，其实它是有什么样的人在附近？
比较 high class 的吧，我觉得。
比较 high class 啊。其实就是 homeless people。
哦。
在没有钱的人，就是那些
是吗？
很穷的人。
是吗？这样我就不知道。
这样 high class 吧？
对咯。
对，谢谢你们。我们今天你这一身你大概穿了多少钱？
这一身
啊，你觉得你大概穿了多少钱
？400吧。
400 ，OK。你这样，你觉得你可以用这些钱活多久？自己一个人？
如果有400块，一个月应该可以吧？
一个月可以。
I'm from Malaysia, specifically Subang, Jaya, SS15.
Okay, I see. Whoa, yeah. Then so.
I studied in Sunway. You guys are from Sunway, right? I studied in Sunway.
Thank you so much for coming here. Then how much your budget for the outfit today?
Honestly, it's quite cheap. This is only my shirt, my jacket is only 30 something ringgit. This is also about 20 something ish. Pants wise also this is Uniqlo pants. 79 if I'm not mistaken. Shoes only 100 ringgit.
Yeah.
100 ringgit plus.
Thank you. Yeah, 200. Oh, yeah.
200 plus maybe 200 around there.
Understand. Then do you think the amount of money is enough for your monthly spending?
Monthly spending. Tak cukup kot. I don't think it's enough honestly, because one day you eat also, one meal you eat maybe about 50 ringgit. Depend on who you eat with. 2 people 50 ringgit.
So it's impossible.
Quite impossible I would say. I would say it's impossible to eat.
How long can you maintain? Only 200?
With 300.
Yeah, 300.
Only with 300 ringgit, I think I can survive for maybe... I can survive for a long time if I don't go out of the house. Yes.
If you go out?
If I go out 3 days maybe?
Yeah.
3 days, 4 days.
Yeah.
You mean the gap lah, the gap of poor people and also rich people.
Yeah, something like that also can.
I think the gap is quite far, but it's not that far off actually. But because there is a lot of people that is average, I think that we are middle class families. You know, we are not really that bad. You know, those of the people who are really poor, it's different now. Their lifestyles is different, and the gap is quite far, honestly, because you can see people shop at like Gucci. One shirt is maybe around 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Whereas we shop, I mean, I still shop normal stuff. I still shop for 30 ringgit clothes. I go thrift shopping a lot, so a lot of my clothes also thrift shop stuff. So it's still quite cheap. Yeah. So I think the gap is quite big, but we are comfortable enough in the middle class, I would say. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of middle class people to sort of make us feel like the gap is not too far.
We are here to find out how huge the gap can be between the rich and poor. Here is what the living conditions behind the mall look like. An entirely different world from what we saw previously. The place where many locals live because of the high standard of living costs, together with foreign workers. The homes, smelly garbages, roads, and sanitation reflect the poor living conditions they bear every day. These are the places where we locals often forget, and even the government overlooks. As the income gap increases, many are finding it hard to afford proper homes to live in. Chalkit is a world on its own with different kinds of people. These people are somewhat the outcasts of society and a place of gang fights and crime. We found a kampong in the middle of a modern city. We decided to explore it, and it truly showed the income gap between the poor and the rich, where their homes are short in safe living conditions. And hygiene is a problem. This kampong shows how difficult people are trying to make a living.
So I'll take a real example where this lady, the husband passed away when she had 3 children and she was pregnant with the 4th one. I asked her this question: if you had 50 ringgit at that time, what would you do with 50 ringgit? She said she will buy food for the children. Remember, because she's single mother and she has 4 little children, so she will buy food. How many days can your 50 ringgit last? You'll be surprised. 50 ringgit, she can buy food for 4 children and herself for 1 week. Like I said, because the poor, their children are frequently hungry. Normally, they will go first for food. That's the basic need. Usually, of course, that is on the assumption that they already have a roof. So our basic needs will be food, shelter, and clothing. Clothing, they will get from other people. So it's food. They will always go for food. They need that to survive. Normally, they would try to get a job. And when they have a job, they will try to get part-time income. Like the person I shared about, she was working in an office. But you know, in the office, you work maybe 1,000 plus for Form 5 at that time. But babysitting, one child is a few hundred ringgit. 1,000 plus income is not going to pay for babysitting. She actually resigned from her office job and she went to work as a cleaner. She went knocking doors to people's homes. Like a cleaner, clean the house and all that for 50 ringgit, 2-3 hours like that. Then in one day, she cleaned 3 houses. So she got 150. Then night time, she went to wash dishes. She is one example. How can they find money to support themselves? Mainly it's work or do small businesses. But even small businesses need capital. You need to buy to be able to sell. And what you have bought and prepared to sell does not mean that people will buy from you. Everyone can help the poor. What more when you're a college student, young, healthy, you know, there are a lot of things that you can do. Number one is you can be a volunteer. Be a volunteer or intern with NGOs like Malaysian Care. So you can help in the sharing workshop, you can be a project partner. As a volunteer, you can just help to design brochures, organize events for the youth. So it can be anything. And then we have a bumblebee van. Have you seen a bumblebee van? The Bumblebee van is a van. It's a traveling toy and book library. You'll be surprised, poor community, they don't have access to books or toy, so they will park at that place and then all the children will come. So you can volunteer to play with the children. Other than that, you can give free tuition. Some people, they give free tuition, be coaches, play games with them like football. They don't have a chance to play. So that's one way you can help as an individual to be volunteer. For adult, also can help conduct English classes, because when they know English a bit more, they will be more employable and give them more confidence. Yeah, that's as an individual, be their voice. They are the people who are voiceless.
So Trish, can we like donate anything or help them by donating waste or such?
Yes. I'm sure you have heard of that phrase that says, the saying that goes, you give the person the fish, he'll eat it for a day. If you teach the person how to fish, he will find fish for himself. Most people think to help the poor, we give them money. It's not wrong. They need money. But while we give them the money, we cannot be always giving. Then they will only learn to receive. When we give them money, it helps them for that period of time. But when we educate them, we empower them. Giving to the poor directly help them only temporarily. If you would like to donate, it would be good to donate through agency. I think besides thinking of how to prevent increase of the number of poor, we may want to look proactively at how to cut down the current level of poverty. In this larger picture, normally it will involve government policies. We realize that we can do so much to help the poor, to educate them and those who are needy. But unless the government comes up with policy that helps to reduce the poverty level in the country, we just continue to run and run. So the real help comes from the top. It will be advocacy, which is either the public individually or through NGOs, and even now as people who can, share your opinion and your thoughts. You can be a voice to the voiceless. The poor are usually people who are voiceless. And even if they speak, their volume is so low, people don't even hear them. What are the areas we can speak about? One is try to create and improve access to job opportunities. Of course, we will also have to help them to become more employable, to be more financial literate so that they can know how to manage their income, stabilize and all that. Things like government should look at how they can raise the minimum wage. Sometimes they are paid so little, exploitation. If the government doesn't have any guidelines, of course the entrepreneurs will pay them as low as possible, and to them, they are not qualified to do anything much else. So there's no choice. Work so hard and earn so little, not even enough for their basic needs. Yeah. And also another thing is education. The education must be affordable, even for the poor. What's going to happen to the poor family's children when the poor family cannot send their children to kindergarten? They cannot afford kindergartens, which are generally private and expensive. So we are talking about the consequence that the poor students will be left off in their education, even from standard 1. So if the country can come up with free education even at kindergarten level into the school system, they are all almost at par. So that's education. And of course, health care is very important. The poor are the people who cannot afford to go to private clinics. So in this area, actually our country does have quite a fair health care for the poor. Clinic Kesihatan, where they can go and they pay RM1, they have health care. This also will help the poor because they don't have money. So things like education, I have mentioned, healthcare. Other things like prices of certain basic food should be controlled, like rice, sugar, clean and safe environment, housing, clean water, sanitation, and of course nutrition. So one of the way the government has some program that can help them to develop in agriculture, fishing and farming. That will be one of the ways that will help to eradicate poverty.